The actor Ray Winstone said he'd get rid of any honours given to celebrities. He gave an interview to the Mail in which he said, "Acting is something I do and I enjoy. Why on earth should I be knighted for that? Give it to a nurse who actually saves people's lives. It should go to people who serve our country in a certain way, not people who get paid well for doing the job they love doing." So, of course, I'm going to start with you, Lady Stewart. Because I believe that the day that Sir Rod was knighted was one of the most glorious days of your life for you and your children. In fact, we can see a picture of it right here, and that's Prince William, and that is your husband, and it's a really fabulous picture. Tell me about what Ray Winstone says and what you think about that.
Of course, we're all entitled to our own opinion, and if he feels that way, that's absolutely fine. I mean, but we celebrate everyone's achievements in different ways. You know, kids get their medals for winning races, and there's the Oscars and the Grammys, and, you know, it goes on. And the important thing about the honours like the New Year's honours and being a CBE or MBE or a knighthood, they've been contributed and suggested by and voted for by the members of public. And I think what is important is, yes, they do go to legends in the celebrity field for the work. And for Rod, it was his contribution to music and charity. And Rod, to this day, at 80, is still out there performing. And the joy that he brings to people, you know, he wants everyone to put their fears and their worries to one side when they walk through that door and give them the best night ever. Have some joy and happiness in their life. So what that gives to people is incredible, and he wants to continue keep giving. But by those celebrities getting those type of awards, it does then bring it to the forefront, and it's headlines in the newspaper, and it does shine then a light on those others that get those rewards. Because I remember on that day there was only probably 5% were actually well-known people that got the awards. Everybody else that day were recognised for their work in their community, whether it was charity work they were doing or work with the poor or disabled, and it shone a light on them. And if it wasn't for the celebrities receiving those awards, I don't think we would hear about
coverage. Absolutely. I mean, Jeremy, could you imagine, a rise, Sir?
Well, this is interesting.
Baron Jeremy.
Well, this is interesting because Penny's now just done this wonderful thing of made me completely rethink my argument. Because I'm saying absolutely not. I don't agree with it for celebrities. I'm on Ray Winstone's thing. I was thinking, what does King Charles know about acting? Or do you know what I mean? Why would
But it's not his decision.
No, I know that, but as you said that, but I do actually kind of agree with you that it does highlight it. But I do also think that I can understand where Ray Winstone's coming from, in that perhaps if it was like Martin Scorsese handing out an award, you'd be like, we'd go there with, you'd bite his hand off for it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas something like that, perhaps it doesn't suit. But then you got the charity aspect that you said that Rod did, which I wasn't aware of, to be honest.
What about the joy aspect? I think that's a big deal. Shouldn't people be rewarded for giving other people happiness and joy and taking them out of themselves?
Yeah, but as Ray said, he is incredibly well paid for doing something he loves. And there is the aspect of that. Surely that's enough, isn't it?
OK, let's bring in Sam. Princess Sam McAlister, maybe.
Trust, have faith. I'm not going to be getting any of those kinds of awards because of my associations. I am not taking away the Lord or the Lady, the Sir, under no circumstances whatsoever. But I think what's lovely is the balance. Obviously, if there is 2 or 3% who are super famous and renowned, and obviously we all love and care about the amazing selfless people in society that no one's heard of, who get to go to the palace. And I have a friend who went recently who is an ordinary person, and all they talked about was they were next in the queue to Jerry Halliwell. So the joy also that being next in the queue to you and Rod probably brought a lot of people. We love the focus on normal people, and we love the chance to stand in a queue next to Jerry Halliwell or Penny Lancaster.
We certainly do. And does it feel nice being Lady Stewart?
I don't really think of it. I just go as
Have you got it on your checkbook?
No.
Don't use the title.
No. I mean, if I was going to a royal event, I mean, Rod and I are ambassadors of the King's Foundation and the King's Trust. So at those sort of events, your name would possibly come up like that at a royal function, but otherwise, no.
Let's go to Alan in Staffordshire about this one. Alan, what do you think, sir?
Well, some people, I think, don't deserve them, but one person does and was missed. Was most respected Barnsley guy you could ever wish for. From humble beginnings right up until his death, he lived and loved Barnsley, and that's Dickie Bird.
Thought you were going to say that. Greatly missed, who passed away this week, didn't he?
He did. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul, indeed. Indeed.
I mean, he was a gentleman. He was loved throughout the world. He set up a foundation for youngsters under 17 to try and get them into sports. He even gave, I think, £850,000 of his own money to buy a machine for a hospital in Barnsley.
Wow.
He was made a freeman of the city of Barnsley. He got the OBE, the MBE. He's got a statue to him, and he missed out on getting a knighthood. If anybody deserved it, it was him.
I'm really glad you phoned to say that. I think it was a worthwhile call and a lovely thing to say. And I bet there'll be people all over the country who hugely agree with you, Jeremy. I mean, absolutely true.
A legend. I'm a cricket fan. He was a complete legend. And I think I have to agree with David. It's a shame. But he did get acknowledged, the statue, the MBE, the OBE and all the rest of it.
And also he knew he was universally loved, Alan, didn't he? I mean, people adored him everywhere he went. And wasn't one of the loveliest things about him that he wore his heart on his sleeve?
Oh, 100%.
He burst into tears of joy. He was just tremendous man in every way. Alan, great call. So pleased you phoned. Thank you. Let's talk to David in Surrey. What do you reckon, David?
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
Vanessa, please leave Rod alone. He does a great service for charity.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I wouldn't take a pop at Rod, certainly not with his wife sitting right next to me, and I wouldn't anyway. I think he's great. Of course, go on, pay tribute, do.
Yeah, Penny and Rod do a lot for charity that you don't see. This is the thing. It's all the things that you don't see that these people do, and the time and the money that they donate that they don't shout about. The one thing, though, that really gets my goat is politicians. David Cameron being specially made up to a knighthood.
And it wasn't. It was a peerage. It wasn't a knighthood. He had to be made Lord Cameron so that he could become Foreign Secretary very briefly.
For me, that is disgusting. Politicians should not be given honours. They literally are employed to do a service and a job. And every time you turn on the news, a bit like Ed Davies, Ed Davies was my local MP. And then the next thing I hear, he's Sir Edward Davies. This is ridiculous. And this is what's turning people off politics, okay? Because they are seeing people being honoured for doing nothing. So please, Rod, please, he's done a great service to charity. He's every time he brings out a new album, myself and my wife, who've been married for 37 years, we sit there and listen, and it's lovely. He is a lovely guy.
But the camera on Penny's face, not my face. I'm not his wife. Look at that. That's the face we want to see. Thank you.
Penny's brilliant as well.
All right, David, thank you very much. I'll have a quick comment, though, Sam, on what David said about seeing politicians honoured simply for being politicians. Do they deserve it?
I completely understand what he's saying. And in fact, obviously, our current Prime Minister, having the word Sir before his name as a Labour politician trying to represent the working person has done him no favours. So I think it's a strong argument, doing right by, a democracy. Should that be rewarded in that way? Probably not. And would Keir Starmer like to get rid of his sirhood? He probably would, politically.
On the other hand, lots of them get kicked up to the House of Lords, don't they, when they've done a good stint?
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid I agree with David on that. I don't think the politicians should be included on that list. I just think it's a completely separate thing. I think they are public servants and they should do their job and focus on that, because I do worry so much about there are enough career politicians as it is, and they're just egotistical, and it's just another thing, another notch on their, not on their belt.
They need
Do you know
to
what I mean?
stack the House of Lords with their own bods, don't they? So they have to, kick them upstairs with a lovely peerage to go with it, don't they, Penny?
I'm
conscious. That's the whole thing. That's the way it works. They kick
I'm available for a peerage.
Would you like
I'll start working tomorrow. I'm not sure that I'd like one, but I'm available to go to the House of Lords and hang out whenever anyone needs
Get
to.
excellent per diem, daily allowance to spend on lunch and everything. It's fabulous.
And you get the subsidised bar.
Yeah.
I mean, how good's that? Because they need it. I mean, they need it, don't they? Come on.
I don't you think honours really the more the merrier? I mean, it's just a kind of feel thing, and you know, if you're a wonderful singer, great. If you're a marvellous ballerina, if you're a fantastic lollipop lady or gentleman, you know, and people suggest it should be you, and other people support it. What's wrong with that? I think that's.
Well, I think it can dilute it, though, can't it? If it's given out willy-nilly, I think, you know. And I've got to say, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of David Cameron. If we were talking about him earlier, I don't think he deserves any awards. I think he was a terrible prime minister.
But they had to bring him in sharpish and make him foreign secretary, and he couldn't be it if he wasn't.
There've got to be ways round it. I think that things like that take away from the people who've actually earned it. I'm sorry, I do agree with David on that.
But some people will say, having been prime minister of the country, that is
enough.
earning that. That it's such a distinguished and such a distinction and such a huge
Liz
responsibility.
Truss should get it. She was prime minister for like 2 weeks. I mean, I
They
don't
get
think
money afterwards as well, don't they?
they get
like over 100k.
No, I'm sorry. I think they get enough. And I don't actually think their hearts are in the right place. I know we're going off topic here, but I really think it dilutes the actual honour of earning that from perhaps creating, you know, say we'll talk about.
It's not a lifetime legacy, is it? It's a short period of time that they've been in that position.
Very good point.
And a lot of the time they don't fulfil their promises.
Absolutely right.
Whereas someone like Rod and other people that have been doing it their entire life, dedicating, of course they love their job, but they go above and beyond.
Did it mean a lot to him?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Because he realises it was voted by the public, and that's the public that have put him where he is. So it was a huge honour for him.
Because you might think, you know, he's done everything this world has to offer in terms of...
And he feels it's a responsibility, actually, now having been made a Sir, a Knight, that he needs to then even more so say thanks for that and continue his work, whether it's charity or performing, and continue giving. It's not like, OK, I've got my award, thank you very much, I can pack up my books and bags and disappear. Like, he wants to honour that now.
He takes it very seriously. Let's go to Owen in Perthshire. Hi, Owen. What do you think?
Hi, Vanessa. I think more sports people should be recognised, if I'm completely honest. There's a lot of politicians that get sung good about them. But people like Ali McCoist, you know, a great servant to British media, a great sports personality as well, loved by almost everyone.
Yeah, true.
Who doesn't get the recognition that he gets, you know? They should get a lot more, Vanessa. Do you not agree?
I agree. I think the more the merrier. I really do. I think because however many it would only be a handful of people in the country anyway, out of 66 million people. So I think you're right. And there are always these grave omissions, these people who really, you can't understand why they haven't been honoured, and they're getting on a bit. You think, oh, come on, get on with it, hurry up.
The sports people, they have to dedicate and sacrifice so much from an extremely young age. They have to put aside almost their youth and their teenage years for the dedication in that sport to get to the level that they required to be to succeed.
Tell me about it. We have Sharon Davis on the show a lot. God, poor thing. What she only went through as a teenager, training night.
So it's a painful climb. You know, great success and get the medals. You know, but then it's sort of short-lived and it's all over when you get to a certain age. So for them to have the accolade and be given that award, I totally agree.
Well, no, I was going to say the same thing, because also for future earnings and career, if you have got a knighthood or a dameship or ladyhood or whatever it's called, then no, do you know what I mean? It can really help, because you've got such a short career and you've then got to live on that for the rest of your life. So I think you've got to actually help these people out, because they do dedicate their entire lives and give us so much joy in a short spurt.
Right.